ส่วนสุดท้ายของวิดีโอเนี่ยผมไม่ได้จดออกมานะครับเพราะว่ามันเป็นการสรุปทั้งหมดที่เขาพูดตลอดทั้งวิดีโอเลยเดี๋ยวผมจะปล่อยวิดีโอไหลเลยนะแล้วก็ดูว่าเนี่ยสิ่งที่เขาทำก็คือเขาสรุปทั้งหมดที่เขาพูดมาเนี่ยนะครับถ้าเป็นแนวของเราที่เดี๋ยวเราจะต้องทำพวกเล่มวิทยานิพนธ์หรือว่าเขียนบทความต่อไปเนี่ยไอ้ส่วนที่เขาพูดเนี่ยมันจะเป็นส่วนที่เราเรียกว่าเป็นสรุปหรือว่าเป็นบทคัดย่อปะหน้าต่อไปนะครับก็ให้ลองดูว่าเขาทำยังไงนะครับเขาทำได้ดีนะก็ลองดูเขาเป็นตัวอย่างนะครับแล้วก็ลักษณะที่เขาเขียนเนี่ยเราจะมองว่ามันเป็นการเขียน mind mapping ก็ได้นะครับลองดูเขาเป็นตัวอย่างนะครับ
SDG1 focuses on creating a world with no poverty. It is comprised of 7 targets, 5 of which are substantive and 2 of which are means of implementation. It takes the frame of a multi-dimensional form of poverty, not simply based on income, but a whole host of factors that lead to a person's quality of life. Having this holistic view helps us to address the issue more systemically. Poverty can be measured in both absolute and percentage terms. Absolute being the total number of people living in poverty, and percentage being the share of the population living in poverty. The first target is focused on eradicating extreme poverty, or the number of people living on less than $1.90 per day. Currently, 10% of the world's population falls into this category, but this is down from 36% in 1990, showing promising progress. Unfortunately, extreme poverty is expected to rise in 2020 for the first time in 20 years due to COVID-19. The data is still being calculated on the exact impact, but some people believe it will be as much as 500 million people, or 8% of the total global population. Target 2 of goal number 1 is focused on reducing by at least half the proportion of men, women, and children living in poverty in countries. This focuses on country poverty lines and helps to put the national context at play, recognizing that money is worth different amounts in different countries and quality of life is affected by a host of contextual factors as well. It was very hard to find data that can be compared, but generally there are some sites that provide comparison across multiple countries to understand their poverty rate and their poverty lines. The third target is focused on social protection. Social protection are the systems that provide income security in cases of old age, unemployment, sickness, invalidity, work injury, maternity, or loss of income. But it also includes a host of programs that help and go beyond just income support and help to provide the basic quality of life for people. These include things like healthcare being linked to jobs, improvements in productivity, basic children well-being and education, and protection for the aging population. Social protection floors are the basic minimum supports that government should provide and include access to essential healthcare, basic services for children, including nutrition, education, and care, basic income security for people of an active age who are unable to earn sufficient income, and basic income security for older persons. Currently, according to the ILO, only 27% of the world's population has adequate social security coverage, and half lack any coverage at all. Only 22% of unemployed people are covered by unemployment benefits. The fourth target is made up of 3 components. One is around access to basic services. The second is around tenure and legal rights over property and natural resources, and the third is appropriate technology and financial services. This particular goal has very little data and is quite difficult to measure. The fifth target is focused on building resilience and limiting exposure and vulnerability to climate-related extreme events and other economic, social, and environmental shocks and disasters. This points to the sad fact that those who are poor are the most vulnerable to shocks in our system. The data here is a bit complex, but it generally shows that the poorest countries are disproportionately affected by disasters. The final targets within SDG1 are means of implementation, the first one focusing on mobilization of resources and particularly development cooperation or aid, and the second looking at policy at the national, regional, and international levels that is pro-poor and gender sensitive. This is SDG1. And that's it, folks. That's all I have for you today. I know that was a ton of information, but it just goes to show how much is behind that little red box of no poverty and how many dimensions there really are to eliminating poverty in our world. I really hope you found it helpful, and as always, I have a blog post that provides information about my research as well as access to additional resources and a couple of organizations who work in a poverty alleviation that you may choose to follow or support if you are interested in this topic. I thank you so much for being here once again. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton, and I really, really appreciate it. Thanks again for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep fighting the good fight, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
ก็อันนี้คือที่ผมไปดูมานะครับถ้าทำรูปแบบนี้ยังคิดว่ามีประโยชน์ไหมอ่ะรู้เรื่องไหมถ้าทำแบบนี้หรือว่าแบบโน้ตไปแล้วไปดูเองก็ได้อะไรเงี้ย
แบบนี้รู้เรื่องกว่าครับอาจารย์
ไม่ไปดูเองบ้างเหรอ
ดูเองบางอันมันเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับบางทีมันเข้าใจยากอะครับไอตัวอันที่เป็น
ว่าถ้าเกิดอะไรอะโน้ตไปให้แบบนี้คิดว่าดูได้ไหม
ดูได้อยู่ครับ
เดี๋ยวลองดูนะเดี๋ยวลองดูแต่ว่าผมคิดว่าบางคนอาจจะแบบทำงานอะไรแบบนี้ก็เลยว่าสงสัยโน้ตไปก่อนก็คงไม่ได้ดูกันสักเท่าไหร่หรอกก็เลยว่ามาดูด้วยกันในชั่วโมงนี่แหละอาจจะใช้เวลาในชั่วโมงเยอะหน่อยนะครับ